Birthday bakery run. It wasn't very practical to run the second half holding a bag of pastries, but I'm sure it will be worth it. It is my birthday today. I am 34 years old now, 1 year older, hopefully not getting slower yet. We shall see. And yeah, I quite fancied a nice little baked good for breakfast, and that's the only special thing I'm going to do today. I'm not really into celebrating my birthday big time. I'm going to have this pain au chocolat for breakfast. I got one for Ben as well. I'm going to call my family later today, and then yeah, it's just going to be a normal Friday in my life. I guess this vlog will be a bit of a catch-up. It's been a while since I've vlogged at home actually. We were really out and about in April. I'm going to give you a training update. I'll probably take you on my workout tomorrow, and then maybe touch on some upcoming racing plans as well. Spoiler alert, I was meant to race this weekend. I've pulled the plug on that because running hasn't been really clicking lately, but we'll get onto that later in the video.
Look at that.
Okay, so yesterday morning I told you guys that I wasn't going to do the race that I had entered this weekend, which is the Cardiff 5k race for victory tomorrow night. And then yesterday evening I changed my mind. I was like, you know what, I think I'd like to race. So as a result, today I am no longer doing a speed session, just doing an hour easy peasy.
I made the decision last weekend when we were in Hamburg that I no longer wanted to race the Cardiff 5k this weekend. So then readjusted my plan accordingly, and then I did nothing this week to get race ready, and I ran more than if I was going to race. The reason why last weekend I decided to scrap the race is because I looked at my training the past few weeks, and honestly it has not been great, and I'll expand on that in a minute. And then if it had been a race nearby, I would have raced regardless, but because it's in Cardiff, which is 2.5 hours away, I kind of thought, well, it feels like a waste of time and a waste of money, because we would have stayed over the weekend, to go all the way there and run a mediocre 5k. It's not just a 20 or 30 minute drive, it's a 5-hour round trip. A bit of a training recap of April, which was not the best. It just felt like it wasn't clicking, although it started on a high with my half marathon PB at Berlin Half. And then the following week, I had a down week to recover. I only ran 51 kilometers. And then the week after, I was meant to be back in business, building back up. And then I get food poisoning on the Monday when we were in Rotterdam. My week was completely thrown off. I struggled to eat the whole week. I had no appetite, therefore I couldn't recover. I had no energy. My HRV was on the floor. I had never seen it this low before. Sunday I felt better and I managed to run 18 kilometers. So that long run salvaged the week a little bit, but this was a proper setback. And the following week, which was actually last week, I managed a solid week volume-wise, 88 kilometers, which was the first time since maybe early to mid-March, because tapering for Malaga half, and then I took it easy between Malaga half and Berlin half. So it had been ages since my last proper big week of training, but still last week still didn't feel great. And this week kind of the same story, just still doesn't flow as it used to. I had a surprisingly good track session Wednesday evening though, which I was quite happy with. I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. But I'm not race ready and I'm not firing on all cylinders. But Ben left the decision up to me. He said, if your head is not in it, we don't go. But if you want to do it, we can go. We can drive to Cardiff. We can do this. You choose. And yesterday, I don't know, I came around to thinking that actually I'd like to race. And I know I will not PB, but it can still be a good training race. And I think there's always something to learn from putting yourself on the start line. Maybe sometimes, especially when you know that you're not quite race ready, I think tomorrow can be a great mindset exercise for me. And running a specific time or a PB is not the outcome that I'm looking for tomorrow. What I'd love for this race to do to me is to help me find my way back to some momentum so I can have a really good month of training. I don't know about you, but for me, the thing with evening races is that you can't really get on with your day because you know that at the end of the day you've got this race, that's all you think about, and it's kind of hard to focus on anything else. And also I've got to be mindful about what I'm eating the whole day. Anyway, so this morning I just did a little shakeout, just an easy 3K and some strides. Let me put the elevation profile of the course on the screen. So it is not pan flat. Obviously, it's also not hilly. There's really fast times on this course every year. I would expect to slow down in the second half given the course profile, and I think the 3rd kilometer is going to be the tricky one, but hopefully I can stay in the pack. That would really help me keep up the pace. So the race starts at 7 p.m. We are going to drive to Cardiff, well, Whitchurch, north of Cardiff, where the race actually takes place early this afternoon, probably set off after lunch. Originally, we had planned to spend the whole weekend in Cardiff and stay for 2 nights. Earlier this week, when I had decided I no longer wanted to race, I cancelled that booking. And then yesterday, I booked the cheapest hotel room I could find in Whitchurch because we might stay over tonight. We could also decide that we want to drive back home after the race. So as soon as we get to Cardiff, we're going to go to the race HQ, pick up my number, so I'll be all set for tonight, and then check into our hotel room. I just wanted a space where I could chill a bit, put my feet up for a few hours, and get ready for the race, instead of just spending the whole afternoon in the car and be hanging around at the race HQ for hours. I'm going with the Adios Pro 4, so pray for my toes. Anyway, oh, it's windy. I can see the trees. Oh, it's windy.
Just find someone tall and sit behind them.
I really hope I can stay in the park for the whole way.
Wait.
Alright, it's almost time to set off, make our way to the start line. So today I won't be taking my camera with me on the course. I'm just going to focus on racing the best I can. And with how the course is, Ben will be able to film the start and the finish, and maybe, just maybe, catch me on the 2nd kilometer, but it might be too tight. We'll see.
Go for Alex. Competed in Paris.
3, 2, 1.
Felly pob lwc i pob un ohonoch chi. Good luck to each and every one. We've got a huge number of clubs being represented here tonight. Lots of local ones, but lots from Finn.
Let's go, Adam. Let's go. Come on, Chloe. Come on. Yeah, Jinx Felix McGrath. The founders asked today that Jinx Hennigan will be our 2025 Cardiff 5K champion.
From all these athletes, quite a few youngsters is still very quick running.
Female veterans in Wales. This is Louise Flynn. Well done, Louise, from the Croupiers. And the Croupier Michael Jones, Overton Harriers. Well done to Nikki Saville. What time?
Did you see what happened at the start?
Yeah, everyone fell over.
Yeah, I was almost coaching it. I did 18:12 on my watch.
Well, my whole spiel about not being race ready did not age well, because yesterday my chip time was 18:13, which is a 19-second PB compared to my previous fastest 5K, which was at Walsall Park Run a couple months ago, and it's an even bigger PB compared to my previous fastest 5K road race, which was last summer, 18:40. I thought about completely cutting out of the video the part where I'm saying that my training has not been clicking lately, that I don't feel race ready, because yesterday's result doesn't reflect that. But at the same time, it is truly how it felt the past month, especially when you compare April to a very strong, very high mileage first quarter of the year. It goes to show that it's always worth putting yourself on the start line, even if you're not quite sure how you're gonna do, because what if? It's not in my nature to turn up to any race thinking that for sure I'm going to PB or have a really strong run. I never back myself to that extent, but there's always a part of me that thinks, what if? What if I do well today? What if I surprise myself? Because it's always possible, and I've had, countless of examples in my races the past few years. Yesterday was just one of them. And it also reminds me that sometimes I need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because I was hyper focused on the past few weeks of training, which have not been very strong, but the previous 12 weeks for the first quarter of the year were very strong, and this progress has not disappeared, and it was there yesterday. Now let's talk about the race itself. So the start, I did not expect it to be that hectic, borderline dangerous. A lot of runners fell over, and you don't see it on camera because we were not yet at Ben's level, but 3 runners fell over right in front of me. I had never experienced this before, and all I could think about for the first kilometer was, wow, this could totally have been me on the ground being trampled on like that. Apart from that, it was quite a nice course, not the fastest ever. There is a nice downhill on the first half, but then there's a tough section on the second half between kilometer 3 and 4. It is not a gentle incline, it is quite a steep uphill. Now my favorite thing about this event was the support. I mean, the crowds were out, not just at the start and the finish, but pretty much everywhere on the course. You had spectators lining up and being very enthusiastic, like cheering and everything. And it was really nice to see a running couple who I had met at a Sescal shakeout in Valencia last year. They live in Cardiff, they were there yesterday spectating, and they even got some video footage for me, including a clip of me running on the final kilometer. So thanks to them, I have some extra video footage, which is very much appreciated. So as you can imagine, I am really glad that in the end I decided to race yesterday. Really pleased with my new 5k PB, and now that I've achieved all my time-based running goals for 2025 by the 5th of May, maybe I need to sit down and set new goals for the second half of the year. And I guess that's it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, 2/3 of my video viewers are not subscribed to my channel. If you are one of them, please hit the subscribe button. There may be a couple more race vlogs coming your way in the next few weeks, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!